Rizzy Beats and myself are hosting our annual 80s Vinyl DJ Night this coming Saturday, June 13th at the Underfront in downtown Wilmington. Now, this is a really special event because this is the third one we've done. This is the original poster from when we did it on May 3rd in 2024. Last year, we hosted our 80s Vinyl DJ Night on my own 50th birthday on June 6th. So this year, this is really special to be doing it a third year in a row. And I can tell you why. Because I remember the day clearly. I can see it in my vision. I remember the day that Rizzy called me about this idea, saying, "Hey, James, I want to do an 80s Vinyl DJ Night, and I want to do it with you." Now, to put into context, we moved here to Wilmington, North Carolina in 2018. In 2020 is when we started hosting dance parties ourselves. And it was solely from the point of view that we just wanted to host a dance party in the way that we grew up. I shared that story with you before about Einstein A Go-Go. But we weren't really seeking to become DJs, if you will. If you notice, we don't promote ourselves as DJs. We promote Let's Dance. It's basically just declaring what we want to do with this event. We just want to dance. It's really that simple. So when I got a call from Rizzy Beats asking about doing this 80s night together in 2024, you got to keep in mind, I really didn't know Rizzy Beats. I only knew him from this record that we put out 1 year prior. And really the only reason I knew them was because I was friends with Minds One. We had them on our first This Water Is Life record. And those guys came to me saying, "Hey, Rizzy Beats remade our first record for us, and we want to put it out on wax, and we want to work with Fort Lowell Records for that." And I was all in for it. But I remember even there, I remember the day that Rizzy came over to our house to talk about this. And I remember, like, he was very standoffish. I mean, I think we even did dinner together. And I remember Tracy and I were like, not really sure if Rizzy likes us, because he wasn't really talking so much. We were talking more with Tronic and Kansai about the Minds One stuff. But nonetheless, we did the record, and this is a phenomenal record too, by the way. You got to check this out. If you guys haven't had a chance to listen to this, go listen to this now. That all being said, 2024 in March-ish, again, we're saying roughly, I think this is where our foggy brains are getting us. I remember Rizzy calling me. I wasn't somebody who I did not view myself as a DJ. I totally knew Rizzy was a DJ and admired the hell out of him doing this. And all of a sudden I get this guy saying to me, "Hey, I want to do a Vinyl DJ Night with you," which really wasn't something I do or have. I only did it one other time with somebody, but I don't really do that sort of thing. And so I remember just being starstruck, just to call it that. I mean, I was basically fanboying out of the idea of like, what? This guy in town wants to DJ with me? Like, what? Are you crazy? But I was all in, like he said. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get at it, you know. And he pitched the idea, really, we tried to represent it in this first poster, and I think we did it again in the new poster for this one coming up. But we tried to represent this idea of what Rizzy was, you know, envisioning here. And that was where, you know, he was come in with more of the R&B, the hip hop, the boogie, and that kind of stuff. And then as he says, like, you know, he said to me, "James, I know that your collection, you've got, you know, all the new wave, the post-punk, alternative music." And I mean, we've definitely got a mixture of those too. Rizzy's got his collection of that too. And then I've got my collection of boogie and freestyle and all that. But the general idea of it was, look, you're going to kind of represent one side, I'm going to represent the other. I don't know if it's the type A personality in me or the planner in me or whatever, but basically, in my mind, I was thinking, all right, we're going to go from 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and let's sort of compartmentalize it, if you will. And so I was like, all right, Rizzy, why don't you do the first, I don't know if it was a half an hour, 45 minutes or something like that, but I was like, okay, he'll do that, and then I'll do mine, and then he'll do his, and I'll do mine. We were kind of planning it like that. That's sort of what I had in my head. But I remember he did his set, and then I did mine. I came up to do my first set. And I remember while I was up there, because I wasn't on stage when he was doing his, but when I started to do mine, he didn't leave. And I remember thinking like, all right, what's he doing? Like, why is he still on stage with me? I'm supposed to be the one performing now. So anyhow, he hung around, and I was doing mine, and it might have been somewhere in the middle of that I think he might have been like, while I was doing a track, he was like, "Hey, I got a track I want to play. Do you mind if I mix in? And Rizzy had this idea for this event, and this is what we're doing, by the way. We do it every year this way. So this coming Saturday, June 13th, we do it what Rizzy calls battle style. So if you can imagine the setup, this is what I'm referring to, I apologize. But if you can imagine the setup of a traditional DJ setup, the two turntables, mixers in the middle, right? And so let's call the table here, and you got your tables and the mixer. What Rizzy proposed, he's like, let's face each other. So I know I put on the poster for this year, I put it B2B for back to back, if you're not familiar, but technically I'm wrong. Technically that poster's wrong. I should have said F to F, because it's face to face is what we do. We take his table, my table, and we literally turn them and we face each other, and we're facing each other like battle style, like he was talking about. And it's actually a really brilliant setup. It makes it much more interactive, and you'll watch it when we're performing. And performing is the right way to put this, by the way, because none of this set for the whole night, the whole 80s night, for the 5 hours, none of this stuff's thought out. It's all figured out on the fly. And this is what the beauty was back in 2024 at this first one, was that was not the plan. The plan was to be like, okay, you do your set, I do my set, you do your set, I do my set. But I remember he never left the stage, like I said, and I remember he started, he was like, hey, let me play a track in where I was playing something. He's like, let me throw one in. And then when he was supposed to take over his set, I kind of picked up on that a little bit. I'm like, I'm going to hang up here as well, because Lord knows I don't want to go dancing. Dancing's for you guys. I'm the one to play the music to get you to dance, but I'm not the dancer. So he started doing his thing, and I'm like, all right, well then I'm gonna play a track with his. And next thing you know, in this particular set, without any kind of planning whatsoever, we just started going song for song, instead of this whole you do your set, I do my set, you do your set. But I got my two turntables, he has his two turntables, and we have it wired in, just so you know, we have it wired in where we can actually hear each other on our headphones. So for all beat matching purposes, I have every bit of control to beat match to his stuff as I would if I was just beat matching to my own stuff. We actually have it wired with the vinyl records, or the turntables, I should say, to where we can hear each other, which is really, really cool and really helps us out a lot, which is great. So yeah, we just started going at it song for song. And I remember it was probably around maybe say 10:30 at night at that point. So we were probably roughly 2 hours into the set. And I remember we kind of looked at each other and we're like, let's just do this the rest of the night. This makes way more sense, which is what we did. And we had a ton of fun with it. And I know for a fact that the crowd loved it. I know everyone fed off that energy of him playing his set and his style. I'm playing my set, my style, and we're just mixing it in together. You're gonna get this really beautiful blend of two people that are passionate about music, that have these awesome collections that we've got stuff that you want to hear. We've got stuff that you're going to forget you knew. And that's what's so cool about it, is it just happens organically, and it's an awesome thing. And I couldn't have been more flattered in that moment in 2024 when Rizzy called me. I couldn't be more flattered to be here 3 years, or the third time, 2 years later, whatever, 3 years later, doing this for a third time with Rizzy. I don't know if there's anybody else I would do this with. I've even said to Tracy, who we do our Tuesday nights, is I don't even know that I could do the song for song with her. We have a fun time doing our Tuesday nights, a different thing. But to do the song for song, there's something about it that's just really special. So I hope you guys can make it out this coming Saturday, June 13th at the Underfront. Let's dance, 80s night, all 80s, all vinyl, Rizzy Beats, yours truly from Fort Low Records, James here. And this is what it's about. Let's dance. It's just that simple. See you on the dance floor, Saturday, June 13th at the Underfront, 80s night.